तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सेवच पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण कृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हुकुम करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. Thank you all for coming. Beg all of your blessings. I don't know how to speak in front of my teachers. I learn from all of you. So thank you so much for coming here together. Let's keep this more of a study versus a class model because I'm not here to give the class. We are here to actually relish Srimad Bhagavatam all together. So today we are discussing text 18, third canto, 31 chapter, text 18. Personally, this chapter has been very contemplative for me. So it's a wonderful discussion. There is a little pivot which is happening from the previous verse or from 18th verse. So we will do that together. We'll recite it. Yene drisham gatimasau dasmasya isha
Yene drishem gatima dasmasya isha
sangrahita purudayane bhavadrishena
sangrahita purdayena bhavadrishena
स्वेनैव तुष्यातु कृतेन सदीननाथः
svenaiva tashyat kriten
को नाम तत्प्रव को नाम तत्प्रति विननञ्जलिम् अस्य कुर्यात्
Guna tatvina tasya guru
येने दृशं गतिमसौ दशमास्य ईशा
Yene drishem gatima dasmasya isha
संग्रहिता पूरुदयने दयेना भवदृशेना
संग्राहिता हृदयेन भवादृशेन
स्वनेव तुष्यातु कृतेन सदीननाथः
स्वनेव नश्यत कृतेन
को नाम तत्प्रति विनञ्जलिम् अस्य कुर्यात्
तत्प्रतिविनाञ्जलिर्नश्य कुर्यात्
Try to recite.
येने दृश्यं गतिमस्तु दशमास्य ईश
येने दृशं गतिमसौ दास्मस्य ईशा
सङ्ग्राहितः हृदयेन भवादृशेन
संग्राहिता पुरुदयेन भावदृशेन
स्वेनैव तुष्यत् कृतेन सदीननाथः
स्वनैव तुष्यातु कृतेन सदीननाथः
को नाम तत्प्रतिविनाञ्जलिमस्य कुर्यात्
को नाम तत्प्रतिविनञ्जलिमस्य कुर्यात्. Sorry, I goofed up in the meter, so feel free to correct me there. Whoever wants to follow. Sorry, you don't have to follow the wrong way I did. येनेदृशं गतिमसौदास्मस्य ईशा सङ्ग्राहिते पुरुदयेन भावदृशेन स्वनैव तुष्यतु कृतेन स दीननाथः को नाम तत्प्रतिविनञ्जलिम् अस्य कुर्यात् माताजी येनेदृशं गतिमसौदास्मस्त्यैषा सङ्ग्राहिते पुरुदयेन भवदृशेन Okay, we'll read word by word translation. Yena, by whom? The Lord. Idrishim, such. Gatim, a condition. Asau, the person, myself. Dasham Masyaha, 10 months old. Isha, O Lord. Sangrahitaha, was made to accept. Purudayena, very merciful. Bhavadrishena, incomparable. Swena, own. Eva, alone. Tushyatu, may he be pleased. Kritena, with his act. Saha, that. Deenanathaha, refuge of the fallen souls. Kaha, who. Nama, indeed. Tat, the mercy. Prati, in return. Veena, except with. Anjalim, folded hands. Asya, of the Lord. Kuryat, can repay. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Lord, by your causeless mercy, I have awakened to consciousness, although I'm only 10 months old. For this causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the friend of all fallen souls, there is no way to express my gratitude but to pray with folded hands. Purport. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, intelligence and forgetfulness are both supplied by the super soul sitting with the individual soul within the body. When he sees that a conditioned soul is very serious about getting out of the clutches of material influence, the Supreme Lord gives intelligence internally as a super soul and externally as a spiritual master, or as an incarnation of personality of Godhead Himself. He helps by speaking instructions such as Bhagavad Gita. The Lord is always seeking the opportunity to reclaim the fallen souls to His abode, the kingdom of God. We should always feel very much obliged to the personality of Godhead, for He is always anxious to bring us into the happy condition of eternal life. There is no sufficient means to repay the personality of Godhead for His act of benediction. Therefore, we can simply feel gratitude and pray to the Lord with folded hands. This prayer of the child in the womb may be questioned by some atheistic people. How can a child pray in such a nice way in the womb of his mother? Everything is possible by the grace of the Lord. The child is put into such a precarious condition externally, but internally he is the same, and the Lord is there. By the transcendental energy of Lord, everything is possible. Thank you all for coming together here to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam today. I want to seek all of your blessings before we discuss this wonderful verse actually. I know we have been following along, but just for the sake of clarity, we've been discussing about Well, here it specifically talks about the child. Actually, it is all of us. We went through all this stuff. So we are actually, we went through so much misery in the womb of a mother, came out of so much of suffering, and so many verses have been describing what is the condition of, what is our condition in our mother's womb. And when we come out, we crying, finally, at least I'm out of that womb. And we are welcome saying that happy birthday. There is nothing happy here. For the child who comes out, for him everything is miserable. And then external people think, oh, there is a great thing going on. This is a power of illusion. This is a power of Maya. And we keep, it was a very beautiful point as Grace Kadam Karan Prabhu was mentioning yesterday here in Bhagavad Gita class. But there is very similar incident on that which is there. I'll try to bring that video sometime. So there was a joker who wasn't a joker in the circus, but everybody will tell them, you're a joker. You're a joker. He said, I'm not a joker. You're a joker. I'm not a joker. You're a joker. I'm not a joker. You're a joker. I'm not a joker. And it was emphasized so many times, this person started believing I am a joker. Similar way, everyone around us, everything around us in the material world is trying to remind us, I am the body. I'm not the body, I'm the soul. No, I'm the body. You are the body. No, I'm not the body, I'm the soul. You are the body. I'm not the body, I'm the soul. You are the body. Yes, I am this body. This is the exact situation goes through the child. When he comes out of the womb of his, when he or her comes out of the womb of the mother, he is saying, I am not the body, I'm the soul. I went through so much. This is not happy birthday. Yes, somehow I have a birthday, but this is not happy at all. But we keep reminding the child, or we are reminded as a child, this is happy birthday. And after certain period of time, we feel, yes, it's actually happy birthday. Yeah. We feel excited about it. I know for people like me who have just gray hair now, there is no charm here in happy birthday. We just realize that nobody say happy death day. Have you heard about that? Anybody wishing you happy death day? Even if somebody wishing, you can't visualize, right? It is, if I'm creating a pain for so many souls, they may say happy death day, and finally this guy is gone, right? So we are here to receive the mercy. This is what this verse is talking about. This verse is specifically talking about our situation being in 10-month old. And when there is a manufacture, there is a death, and then we again start. A for apple. One time I was an apple. In one birth I was an apple. B for boy. In one birth I was a boy. C for cat. In another birth, I was a cat. So we are again go back to birth one, 10 months and 11 months coming out, start from kindergarten, and again remindful about all my previous births. Right? That's the unfortunate situation of this material world. The only hope for us is to actually receive the mercy of Radha Krishna, to receive the mercy of Gaur Nitai, to receive the mercy of our spiritual master and all Vaishnavas. We can never attain Krishna without the mercy of Srimati Radharani. And this is a beautiful pastime which is narrated. It's so enlivening. This is actually in glorification of one of the Sakhi whose name is Chitra Sakhi. One time Krishna came to Yashoda Maya. Maya, do you love me? Yeah, Kana, I really love you. How much do you love me? Mother Yashoda said, more than you can think of. So I have a request. You know what? When I come back to home after I go for cowarding, and when I come back, Sridhama cries in my separation. He cannot bear my separation. He cries. Very interesting aspect on this point. If you meditate on day one, which is just as being mentioned here, when I come out of the womb, I cry. And throughout the life, we cry. Sometimes it may appear like, oh, where do we cry? I'm here, sitting here. Who is crying here? Whether we cry for a bigger salary, whether we cry for a bigger car, whether we cry for a bigger house, whether we cry for a bigger pay hike, or whether we cry for some other thing, everyone is crying. But the question is that, is it worth crying for those material things which are anyhow going to go away? If you read every page of Srimad Bhagavatam, the same cry is there, but that cry is for a different purpose. You see, here Sridama is crying. You see, Bhagavatam, when Krishna is leaving Vrindavan, all Vrajavasis are crying. When Uddhava is, this is something which I want to share today. When Uddhava gets to know that Krishna is about to wind up his pastime, he is crying. When Krishna left from this world, his parents, Vasudeva and Devaki, are crying. Everybody is crying. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is crying. But the difference in this crying is it's in the mood of separation. It is, my Lord, I lost you. My consciousness, for us, my consciousness is lost. I have been going through this experience in many, many births. I want to come back. Just give me one chance. I bet you I will never leave you there. If I leave, I'm ready to go to the hell for eternity. But just please give me this one opportunity. That is what we are aspiring for. This is what we want to cry for. So your Sridama is crying in separation of Krishna because he can't even leave Krishna for one night. Can you imagine the love? This is beautifully mentioned in Canto 10. Krishna is just going. This is very interesting. Gopas cry because now Krishna is with Yashoda Maya, or Krishna is with gopis, or Krishna is with Srimati Radharani. When will I get your association? And in the morning, they are waiting when Krishna will come, and other Vrajavasis are crying because now we won't be able to see Krishna until he comes back in the evening. This is beautiful. So Sridama, Krishna is saying, you know what? Sridama is crying when I just come back home. He is waiting for the morning. Can we have a nice painting for him? So Yashoda Maya says, Chitra Sakhi, Mother Chitra Sakhi has a blessing that actually she can make nice painting. So Yashoda Maya calls Chitra Sakhi saying that, can you make a nice painting for Kana? And Chitra Sakhi is very happy that I could render some service to Krishna. So they decide the day, and Chitra Sakhi sits and Krishna sits there. And Yashoda Maya says, Kana, don't do any masti. Just sit at one place so that Chitra Sakhi can form a beautiful painting of you. And Krishna is standing in a Tribhanga form. And Chitra Sakhi starts painting. When she starts painting, she is realizing, I do not know what is the true color of Krishna's body. She's thinking, but she's not able to figure out. Actually, Mother Chitra Sakhi had a blessing from Mother Saraswati that she will guide. So Chitra Sakhi intensely prays to Mother Saraswati. I'm not able to visualize, I'm not able to identify what is the right color of Krishna's body. She's in this dilemma. And you know what Mother Saraswati says? I gave you the boon, but I'll tell you, be very honest. I myself don't know what is the true color of Krishna. So if you want to find out, you go to Mother Srimati Radharani. And Mother Chitra Sakhi comes to Srimati Radharani. This is a beautiful part of the soul, beautiful story. Srimati Radharani says to Chitra Sakhi, look into my eyes. Deep within my eyes, you will see the true color of Krishna. And Chitra Sakhi looks into the eyes of Srimati Radharani and she finds the right color. And she is grateful to Srimati Radharani and comes back and she paint that beautiful painting which she carved or which she made with the true color she identified from the eyes of Srimati Radharani. And finally, when that painting is brought close to Krishna, Krishna is telling Yashoda Maya, why are you showing me the mirror, my mother? Yashoda Maya says, "This is not mirror Kana. This is Chitra Sakhi made your painting. Why did I land up to this pastime? We can never receive the mercy. We can never understand Krishna without the mercy of Srimati Radharani." There is a beautiful conversation which is happening in Canto 11. This is Krishna left from this world, and Vasudev is being very morose. Of course, other than separation, he is thinking about, I consider Supreme Personality of Godhead as my son, and I actually missed an opportunity to serve him. And at that time, he is requesting to Narada Muni, can you enlighten me? And Narada Muni actually at that time narrates the story of Navayogendra, who actually tells the importance of devotional service to King Nami. And in that conversation, just giving you a little context, in that conversation, actually Maharaj Nemi is asking Navayogendra, can you tell me the incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead? When I read that, I was puzzled because there was a similar conversation which is happening in Canto 1. Now, this is where the crux happens. So, this is one of the verse which they are talking about, and this is specific to this is specifically for Kali Yuga, incarnation of the Lord. So, this is a beautiful verse which I'm reading. This is Canto 11, chapter 5, text 33. My dear Lord, you are the Mahapurusha, the supreme personality of Godhead, and I worship your lotus feet, which are the only eternal objects of meditation. Very similar to what we are talking about. Those feet destroy the embarrassing condition of material life and freely award the greatest desire of the soul, the attainment of pure love of Godhead. My dear Lord, your lotus feet are the shelter of all holy places and of all saintly authorities in the line of devotional service are honored by powerful demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. My Lord, you're so kind that you willingly protect all those who simply bow down to you with respect. I'll repeat. My Lord, you are so kind that you willingly protect all those who simply bow down to you with respect, and thus you mercifully relieve all the distress of your servants. In conclusion, my Lord, your lotus feet are actually the suitable boat for crossing over the ocean of birth and death. And therefore, even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva seek shelter at your lotus feet. There is a beautiful purport. I want to actually read few lines which are very much connected to this verse. It may happen that by accident, this is such a hope giving. It may happen that by accident, an occasional symptom of Kali Yuga, such as an envy, anger, lust, greed, etc., may momentarily appear in the life of a devotee. But if such a devotee is actually surrendered at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by his mercy, such an unwanted symptom of anartha will quickly disappear. See, why I brought to this verse for two reasons. One is to specifically talking about what is the mercy of the Lord to us. And the second point which I wanted to share from this, I want to add more to that, is that same Srimati Radharani comes in the form of Lord Chaitanya. We very occasionally, at least I think about myself, talk about Jagai and Madai. It's such a story we everybody knows in ISKCON. But if you just contemplate on what is the contribution of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, and if you try to imagine what Jagai and Madai did, even Yamaraj was not able to cope up with the amount of sins or amount of misbehavings they were doing in the universe. That was such a chaos which they were creating. And the same Jagai and Madai are giving stones to others after being purified, saying that, you hit that stone. Just imagine for an example, If any of us would be in that situation, how many of us would be willing to give a stone to the other person? You hit at me. None of us probably. The at most, whatever bad thing we have done, we would say thank you. Or sorry, we will say sorry. I didn't mean to do it. It's so easy to just run away. But here, they are actually rendering devotional service to the devotees. That is the power of Lord Chaitanya. He is coming here in the Kali give us Harinam Sankirtan and actually giving us this hope, which is this talking about. Here it is being referred about the momentarily fall down. We have been discussing in few conversations around that piece. And here this is the other line. This is therefore a sincere follower of the Lord should never be discouraged in the execution of his prescribed duty, but should be confident that he will be protected by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very important aspect here which is being mentioned. When we try to actually practice bhakti and we spend certain period of time in bhakti, we kind of feel I am stagnant, whether I'm moving forward, whether I have the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. And this is a beautiful hope-giving purport which is actually explaining that. This verse does not mention that one need to be an exalted devotee of the Lord. This is the most important line I felt, because even when I see these examples of Jagai and Madai, or when we see those examples in Srimad Bhagavatam, we feel, oh, they are pure devotees, they are connected to the Lord. They have so much of what about me? I'm just so far away. So this purport says this verse does not mention that one need to be an exalted devotee of the Lord. Rather, it is stated that if one simply bows down at the Lord's lotus feet, he will gain all protection. And this also applies to anyone who is trying to serve the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even the neophyte will get all the protection by the mercy of the Lord. This verse specifically we were discussing, it is mainly highlighting 2 points. Initially, the first point is, my dear Lord, by your causeless mercy, I'm awakened to the consciousness. This is for the child. And the second thing which is being mentioned in this verse, for this causeless mercy of Supreme Personality of God, the friend of all, for there is no way to express my gratitude. So there is this mercy and there is these gratitude. These are two terms which are importantly mentioned in this verse, and this verse which I pulled in is specifically covering that aspect about the mercy of the Lord. Even if I'm just coming and bow down in the temple, Lord Chaitanya says, welcome to my team. That is the power of Lord Chaitanya. This is further mentioned. By accepting your lotus feet as the boat by which to cross the ocean of nations, one follows in the footsteps of Mahajanas and cross that ocean as easily as one step over the hoofprint of calf. According to Srila Rupa Goswami, a follower of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a Jivan Mukta, a liberated soul. Thus, the devotee is not worried about his future destination, for he is confident that the Lord will quickly take him across the ocean of material existence. Such confidence is referred to in the Upadeshamrita by the word Nishchaya, meaning firm conviction about the potency of the process of devotional service. Further down, similarly, Lord Gaura Krishna is addressed by the word Mahapurusha in this verse, which is mentioned. Such lotus feet are the actual eternal object of meditation because they cut off the bondage of material life and fulfill the desire of the devotees. So, this verse is specifically highlighting the mercy of Lord Chaitanya we have in this world, that we are actually part of his group. Now, the question comes in is that, okay, I understand. Can you give some examples other than Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita? Because I want to find out that person who started from the neophyte stage and how did he attain Krishna's lotus feet. I have two examples which I want to narrate here. Yesterday, when I heard this, I can't quote the name, at least for the first person. When I heard about this, so this devotee spiritual master, this devotee is about to leave the body, and his spiritual master is communicating with her or him. And this devotee who shared with me actually overheard this conversation between a spiritual master and a disciple who is struggling to leave the body. The spiritual master said, so this is in the month of Kartik, 2 days after the Kartik. The spiritual master is telling to his disciple. This is really deep. Um, Spiritual master is telling to the disciple, saying that Radha Krishna and gopis are waiting for you. Kartik month has already started. What are you doing here? The disciple is responding, Maharaj, I have so much attachment. You, if you want, you can disconnect me from this world right now. Can you disconnect all my attachments? And by the way, I want to give little qualification of this devotee. He or she has been practicing bhakti over 30, 35 years. A lot of things happen. She or he is the counselor of the counselors. So they dedicated their life in serving Krishna. Now, when the spiritual master comes and offers that thing, that they are waiting. What is the festival we celebrate? Sharad Purnima. Sharad Purnima is already started. They are waiting for you to join them. When I heard this, I just didn't know how to respond to that. So this devotee, there was a personal, whoever was devotee was serving this devotee. This devotee told one day, just after 2 days, after this conversation, can you get me a bath? So this devotee gives a bath to a person who is on the deathbed. So after this, can you, it is 3:30 in the Brahma Muhurta time, 3:30. There is a tulsi plant there. Don't pluck tulsi because its sun hasn't risen yet. Whatever tulsis are there on the side, can you give me those? She got those. Then the third one she asked, can you get me Mahagalin? This devotee has deities at home, so she got the Mahagalin. She called her husband next to her, begged forgiveness from her. I'm ready to leave. And she left within a moment. Now, this is actually, if you go deep into this pastime, and this is the January month, within few weeks or within few days, we will celebrate. I don't know how do we use that word. Please forgive me about my English. Bhishma Pitama leaving the body during this month. Bhishma Pitama knew when he is going to leave the body. And Krishna made sure he was there at that time. Right? This verse in the purport, there are two terms which are specifically mentioned, which I want to bring it here. The Supreme Lord gave intelligence internally as a super soul and externally as a spiritual master. So, here the importance of spiritual master. This devotee who left the body by the instruction of spiritual master and Ichha Mrityu. I want to leave now. This is the power of Guru Parampara, and this is the power of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. This is wonderful, which I was reading about this. They are eagerly waiting for us to actually onboard to the life which is eternal, to the life where there is no distress, it's full of happiness. The second thing which I was thinking about from whatever chapter we are reading, this chapter is emphasizing on, on the misery of a child in the womb of a mother. If you see Srimad Bhagavatam, throughout the 10th, throughout the 12th canto is talking about one or the other devotee suffering through. If you see some devotee or some person has one way of suffering, another person has another way of suffering. But one misery which is common to all of you is the birth and the death. So this is everybody can connect, but at the same time, like Yogal Krishna Prabhu beautifully mentioned last Saturday, we went through all this misery, but we cannot recognize that because we just forgot, right? That's the power of Maya. But when I'm in this body, how much suffering I receive, that I can never forget. Now that suffering could be at different level, right? This is the bitter reality of life. The material world will never be fair to anyone. Material world will never be fair to anyone in this material world. Whether I am a devotee or whether I'm not a devotee, the only difference it makes is understanding what is the fairness. I just want to speak that out. And I want to share from my personal realization. When Nayan Sundari was going through lung transplant, and I want to spell this out, it's so deep actually, on emphasizing on this line that Lord is so eager for us to come there. I was there one evening when University of Michigan raised their hand, we cannot do anything. You figure out now. Imagine you pay thousands of dollars every month to insurance, thinking that they'll save me. And one day they tell you, "Boss, I can't do anything." This last 3 days, I've been just hearing about a devotee. I'm hearing about a devotee's relative. This person is in hospital for a year. Since last January for this January. For some of us, we were saying Happy New Year. For this person, there is nothing called as happy. He is lying in the hospital bed like a carrot or reddish. He's on a machine called as ECMO. For those people who do not know what is an ECMO, I didn't know either before Nance went through this. Your whole body cannot work. There is a machine connected to you, and that will basically do the function of different parts of the body. You are as good as dead, lying just like a carrot on the bed. So this person is ready to be. He was in the list to get the lung transplant, but things got worse, and he went into that machine. And he is on that machine now. He rated number one for the lung transplant, which means the first lungs which come, he can receive those lungs. Insurance said, we will not pay for lung transplant. So this person is on ECMO, which means only option for him is to get the lungs, and that is blocked. Insurance says I cannot pay. And for those of you, sometimes when we hospitalize, we pay lakhs of dollars. I remember when Nayan Sundari was first time hospitalized in Chicago, they were trying to figure out what's going on. It is just a month after we landed in the country. She stayed in 10 days, and I didn't have insurance on day one. It just started later, but they backdated. So I saw the bill first time ever in my life. It was 1.5 lakh dollars, not rupees. So for lung transplant, it's in millions if we were to pay from out of pocket. So this devotee or this relative of a devotee is waiting on an ECMO machine. I have no idea what is going in the external world. And insurance said, I cannot handle this. And this devotee is asking, oh, what is the alternative? I'm like, only Krishna's mercy can save. Because he cannot afford, insurance was not going to pay. On the ECMO machine, hospital will not keep him. So what is the conclusion? So coming back to this point, life is not fair. The question is, when is my quota coming? It is very easy. Shankar was beautifully mentioning, when my health is good, easy to chant, easy to dance. Even dance in the line of Sansara Dava Navalila Loka. That's so the situation is not easy for anyone. The question is, when is my day coming? So I remember this incident when we both were standing out. It was about to be sunset. We were in the corridor looking at the sun. And this is the line Nayan Sundari mentioned. And again, remember the context, how Lord is so eager for us to invite back to spiritual. We all know she went back to spiritual world because her spiritual master said, she said, what did I do in my life? I want to share a private conversation here. I wanted to work. One desire. What is that? I want to work. And I didn't do anything in my life. The doctor said, out of one, if she has to get the lungs, out of 1 million people, one lung will match. If you count the probability for us, zero. Because she has, and zero, when I say she doesn't have a like 30, 50 years to wait for the transplant. She has days to wait for the transplant because her heart is actually taking the size of all other organs in the body, which means other organs are suffocating and they have stopped working until the situation where she's in the hospital for months. So one night she receives a call, we found the lungs, and I was sleeping in the bed next to her in the hospital room, and she jumped and told me, we got the lungs. I'm like, it's impossible. The doctors themselves said, we also thought it's impossible. Then what is the possibility of she getting the lungs? And the first pair of lungs come and there is a compatibility, she matches. It's not that any lungs will fit. Out of 1 million people, one lung will match. And they found the lungs. She recovered. She came back to the altar. She got the job. I want to, this is the mysterious part. She got the job. Remember that instruction? Remember that line? I want to do the job. She got the job. She worked for a few months. One day, I think I'm done. I had a desire to do a job. I did it. I think my desire is fulfilled. Hmm. Within a week, within a week, we went to get her the shot. What is that? COVID booster. Next day, I went with her for a walk. She was not able to breathe. No, Nansundri, you are okay. I cannot walk further. No, no, I cannot walk. Okay, we went back. Within a couple of weeks, she was in ER. Within a couple of hours, she went to ventilator. These guys were completely puzzled. What is going on? So they decided she has to be airlifted to Toronto General Hospital. She went to Toronto General Hospital on the ventilator. And for us who do not know what the ventilator is, we just heard the name. This thick pipe. You put thermometer under the tongue. How many of us comfortable even keeping it for a half a minute? Anyone? I feel I want to get this out. This thick pipe goes under your throat. And because it's extremely uncomfortable, you have to be sedated. And welcome to the hell now. Because for that, we pay the huge sum of money every month. They give you such medicine that you lose your own consciousness. You have no idea what is going on. And here, doctors, this is the world we are in. So these doctors are discussing whether we should, after a few days, whether we should get her out of ventilator or we shouldn't. One person is saying no, another person is saying yes. And I'm in the conversation, I'm saying you should give her a chance. So they get her out of the ventilator. But remember, the amount of sedation has went in the body. Now it starts reacting because that has to come out. Now you are awake, you were not awake, right? So all this sedation medicine are there. You know what they do? It takes you back to the some years back. So I went back to the home because the hospital closes. You cannot be in the hospital after evening. So I go home. And I was lying. I receive a call from her phone at 2 a.m. She's not able to talk yet. At 2 a.m. And I picked up the phone. And she's crying. What she's telling? Kids are waiting. They have to go to the school. I want to give lunch to them. These nurses are tying me up. Can you come right now and get me out of here? I'm like, "Nanzuri, I cannot come here. I cannot take you out from here. Give the phone to the nurse." Nurse said, "We have tied her to the bed." Can you imagine? How many birds back we became animal and we were tied to something? Now we are tied back again. In the hospital, the nurses, because now this is coming back to the child, right? What is one thing which most irritates the parent? The child passes 1 and 2 on the bed or wherever they are, and we have to clean it up. When we are in the sedated stage, everything is on the bed, and the nurses get irritated. And to console them, for me to be staying there, and I assess them because they are not treating her properly, and I can't understand, I cannot handle that. So I have, because they will ask me to get out, so you have to kind of in a certain way do a buttering so that they let you stay there, and you tell them, yeah, I'll assist you, and they are happy because now you have, you don't have to pay to this guy, and he can assist you on whatever has to be done in the cleaning and all that stuff. That is the material world, will never be fair to anyone. So the question here is that, do I still want to do an investment in material world thinking about I'll take care of this, I'll take care of this? Zero. That is what this realization is. She comes there, and this is again coming back to Paramatma and spiritual master. Her spiritual master, he called once. Many of us know about this, but I want to spell this out. What is the hope of aspiring to get initiated and taking a shelter of a guru and surrendering our lives to actually that spiritual master who is willing to do anything and everything for us to go back to God? And he said this. Remember the first thing he told Maharaj, the spiritual master told to this devotee, that Sharad Purnima is already started at Golok now. They are waiting for you. This Nayan Sundari, I want to tell you, Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha has accepted your service. Every word is pristine and clearly defined. One has to understand. He did not say Radha Krishna has accepted your service. He said Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha has accepted. Deities of our temple. I am so grateful to you for wonderful life you live with exemplary life. And I want to give you a confidence saying that they are waiting for you to invite you to the spiritual world. And I was just contemplating because it's this incident has happened over a year now, but there are new and newer perspectives about this whole experience comes in. When I think about, well, she perfected her life a year back. This is February 2022. But then she came here. We all of us know she was admitted in the hospital, and she knew that she will not come back. And she's in the hospital, and she leaves gloriously in front of all of us. Well, hold on. Anyhow, she's going back to the spiritual world, right? So why do we have to wait for 7 to 8 months? This is a mercy of Lord Chaitanya to all of us. At least, at least I can surely say for those devotees who were there in that hospital room. What is the mercy? She actually sacrificed. It says Jesus died for our sin. That's what they call it as. Devotees leave their body to set up an example for us. She sacrificed. She not just sacrificed, she showed us an example that we all can go back to God in. I also started from the stage of neophyte. I also started chanting one round someday. I started also attending one of the Aarti one day. I also started attending Mangala Aarti one day. I started attending Srimad Bhagavatam class one day. And one day I spoke on Srimad Bhagavatam. One day I decided I want to assist in Lord Chaitanya's mission and look at my destination. When Ramanujacharya was leaving, the devotees were crying. And Ramanujacharya said, why are you crying for me? I should be crying for you. That not as a criticism, but I am going back to spiritual world. I am happy. How about you? The same question is, you all are sincere, but I'm struggling on my sadhana. I'm struggling on my life in terms of practicing Krishna consciousness. What am I doing? The gate is open. You see this exit gate? You see those two exit signs? Lord Chaitanya has put in millions of exit signs. What are those millions of exit signs? Going back to God and exit from the material world. Our problem is that, hey, it's cold out. I want to stay here in the warm environment, which apparently is not warm, right? Lord Chaitanya beautifully said, we are sleeping in the lap of Maya. Jiva Jago, Jiva Jago, Gaura Chandra Bole. What does this Jago mean? Well, I'm awake now. We all are sitting in Srimad Bhagavatam. I know some of us didn't get enough sleep in the night, but I'm still trying to be awake. What is this Jeev Jago? This Jeev Jago is all about, I want to wake up now. I've been sleeping in the lap of Maya, thinking that if I have a health insurance, everything else is taken care of. If I have millions of dollars in my bank account, everything else is taken care of. And the reality is, the answer is no. I was hearing my spiritual master's class specifically talking about the brutality of this material world. He gave an example about Martin Luther King. He was mentioning at that time, he was such a well known person. He was very rich, he was very handsome, he had all fame. One day, some 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 iron or some particle just went in the brain. Within few days, he left. Nobody could save. His millions of dollars didn't save. His fame didn't save. His relatives didn't save. So the point which I'm trying to, and I'm trying to remind myself that the material will never be fair to us. We don't want to go through this 10th month experience again and again and again. We want to fold our hands, share our gratitude to Lord Chaitanya, that by your mercy, Srimati Radharani, Radha Gopi Janavallabha, by your mercy, finally, I'm trying to be awake, thinking that I have a beautiful ending waiting for me. But what I want is, I want my consciousness be always thinking about Nam, Rupa, Guna, and Leela. That is a perfection of life. And I want to practice that every day. Realize time is running for everyone. This is a very interesting statement which happens in Canto 10 when all Rajavasis, um, Kunti Maharani and all Pandavas and Yadus, when they get together at Kurukshetra, Kunti Maharani is asking this question, saying to his brother, to her brother, sorry, when I was in difficulty, nobody came to help me. None of you, brother. She's actually kind of complaining in a way. This is sake of pastime. And they said, the fate is very powerful. Hold on. Krishna is right there. And we say, oh, Krishna says, I am Kala, I am the time. Or even in this 11th canto, when Yadus are actually fighting among themselves, Krishna is telling that I cannot counteract Brahmana's curse. Krishna, four Varnas come from you. And you are saying, I cannot counteract. He is respecting time. Krishna himself is respecting time, not that he is under the time. What does this mean for us? This mean for us is that time we need to learn how to respect. What is the meaning of respecting the time? Not that I make a schedule that I will go to jogging this time and I will go my job, I will put an extra hour and I'll get an extra. The time management is all about how can I go closer to Krishna and share my gratitude every time when I come in front of Radha Gopi Janavalpa Nitai Patita Pana Gaurari. I have no hope. The only hope I have is I'm connected to you. And I'm connected to my spiritual master because he is that missing link for all of us. So, with that, I would like to end here. We summarize what we talked about. We talked about in this verse a child who is 10 months old in mother's womb is actually sharing his gratitude that I am finally awakened to consciousness, right? And I'm so grateful to you for your causeless mercy. With the folded hand, I want to offer my gratitude. From there, we actually talked about the beautiful fasting of Chitralakhi, that Chitrasakhi, and then we came back to Srimati Radharani. Without her mercy, we can never achieve the mercy of Krishna. The same Srimati Radharani comes as a Namo Mahavadanyaya avatar in the form of Lord Chaitanya and then Nityananda Prabhu to give us that mercy. And the whole hope we have is even we are at 11th canto, we talked about, even if we are neophyte, even if we are sometimes going here and there, that does not mean it gives us a license to go here and there. Lord Krishna is eagerly awaiting for us. And we took the example of two devotees. I was interestingly parent, it's a teacher and the student, both of these devotees I gave an example about. They went back to spiritual world by holding the hand of their spiritual master. So time is running for each and every one of us. I'm trying to remind myself we have to wake up now. If there are any comments you would like to add, Prabhu, would you like to add something on that? Both of you. Thank you, bro. Thank you for adding the example of Ishwarapuri, how he was serving his spiritual master, Madhvendrapuri. Apparently, you see in that passing also one may say, "Hey, why devotees are going through old age?" Again, same point. Material world will never be fair, but they are at such a high transcendental platform. This material body is doesn't affect them. This is just, oh, okay, I'm going back to spiritual. I came from there, so I rendered my service. My Lord, what is the next project? That is what pure devotees are always eager to ask. Thank you, bro. Anybody else wants to add some comments? You want to add something?
Yeah, that point you mentioned that your devotees also go through perhaps suffering. So, like, I met some persons who are very critical about that. This is, he was commenting on them, like, see, like, they are not so cool, that's why they are going to this. Which is not a, he's in a criticizing mode toward this color. So, later on, like, when you see life of some devotees, like Jesus Christ, even though his son of God was killed, he was brutally killed, and everyone witnessed it. And mother in the Puri, and also Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was back, he suffered due to paralysis in his last days of life. And or Bhakti Srila Prabhupada, he also was bedridden for so many days, and his body totally became like a so weak and he totally disfigured. And some of one of his disciples were looking at him and in piteous manner, Prabhupada said one thing, don't think that it can happen, it can everyone happen to you. So, like it is like looking at that incident, one thing we can realize is suffering in this material world is inevitable. Even Krishna also set an example. Like, he took the arrow at the feet. And so, It's not like a magic that you just suffering will not doesn't mean that everybody is at level, that everybody is subjected to karma. One thing you have to understand is, even though they are going through such kind of suffering situation, their consciousness is always high. Their consciousness is always spiritual. So that
Amazing.
is the most important thing that we have identified. When Papa was in that deathbed, when that weak situation, he was dictating, he was giving instructions. So that thing that is the most important thing. We should not focus on all this. Even Nancy was also like I showed that regarding to my sister, and she was also shocked, and she was looking at the pictures, and then she was paying obeisance to everybody. That was a wonderful example that we can actually. When we look at their consciousness, they are attached to Krishna, they want to serve Krishna in that state, and that's how they are going back to God. And they are kindly setting us examples, how to leave the body. How to leave the body, anybody can, because anybody can say, but how to leave the body, only very, very fortunate souls who has actually, Krishna will empower. Krishna says, Krishna doesn't give a test to somebody who cannot handle it. Krishna only gives the test to someone who can handle it and can come out with flying colors. So like that, situations like that, the great gurus, acharyas, they give only to set an example. For a
Fantastic.
devotee, suffering in this material world is very irrelevant. Because he is already under the Shiksha of Krishna, and his karma is entirely within the sanction of Krishna.
Amazing. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much. Anybody else wants to add any comment? Anybody online wants to add something?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very
One
much for
second,
a
Prabhu.
wonderful class.
Prabhu wants to speak. Just so sorry, it's
Sure.
difficult to coordinate one.
Generally, this is sedatives. Just a thought. Prior to surgery and all like that, there is nothing that you can think of the unless our mind is completely pure and occupied with Krishna's lotus feet, the chance of remembering Krishna is almost, that's one thing I always what will be my consciousness if you remember these conditions? You can't even think anything. You can't sense anything. Unless the subtle body will be absorbed in Krishna, so to speak. That's saying that mind, despite that, we still struggle on that. It's a painful part of our lives, healing again and again. But still, as soon as we walk out from this class, we immediately completely absorb the body. Thinking over this, I'm going to say the next, but it's good.
Oh, your speaker is even worse situation than yours. Imagine I'm speaking, and then when I go out, what is going on? So that's a situation. That's why I just want to beg all of you. I want to tell this statement. We sometimes lightly say after the birthday, may you never take birth again, may you go back to God. And we have no realization what does that mean for all of us. Just Champagavali actually enlightened me. We used to pray for Nayan. She went back to God and Krishna sincerely listened. So I want to beg at all of your lotus feet, please pray for us. We just have one desire. We want to go there. I know I'm not qualified to actually ask Krishna, or can I contribute in the project? No, let me be a fresher. I'll just go there. I just want to just want to serve you whatever way I can. Thank you. Go ahead, Prabhuji. Sachisiddha Prabhu, you want to add something?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for the wonderful class and sharing your personal realizations. So, thank you for giving the references where we have hope. Even a neophyte devotee has a hope. That's wonderful. So I think at the same time as the word of caution is basically, since there is hope, we cannot be lethargic or become less serious, no? Like sometimes that gives a false indication also. So that's one thing. And second thing is, can you just briefly summarize what Bhagavad Acharya Prabhu said and Nandaniketan Prabhu said?
Bhagavad Acharya Prabhu was, Prabhu, you want to summarize maybe? Um, maybe I think you want to come here and speak. Maybe. I think Bhagavad Acharya Prabhu was mentioning about some people ask or criticize ISKCON or some other processes, thinking that, oh, you know what, why these pure devotees have to go through so much of suffering. There are so many examples that way. But the whole idea is look at their consciousness, like Srila Prabhupada, he was completely emaciated, but his consciousness was at that level. In fact, one disciple was saying, oh, he was feeling pity about Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada said, don't think that it won't happen to you. So basically, everyone is part of that. But the question here is that where is my consciousness? Krishna will empower, but the question is that whether I want to be that shelter, I want to be just an instrument that Krishna can use me in that service. That is the point. Is that correct, Prabhu? Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
And Nandaniketan Prabhu?
Thank you. Nandaniketan Prabhu is saying, Divya Tirtha, you at least improve something, don't just speak, do something also. That's what you suggest.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
Srila
Prabhuji.
Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta
Jai.
Gaura Bhaktavinda ki jai. Again, I
Jai.
beg at your lotus feet, please, 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 please pray for us. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Samaveta
Jai.
Gaura Bhaktavinda.